Black holes are not a real thing. That's what Albert Einstein thought as long as he lived. Although it was his theory of relativity that predicted the existence of these gravity monsters, we can't blame the genius. He remembered astronomers predicting but never really finding planet Vulcan. Black holes also used to be merely hypothetical objects until in the early 70s, scientists found an object called Cygnus X1. This discovery caused a revolution in astronomy. But if Einstein was right, our universe would be fundamentally different. In this video, you'll find out how come there are hypothetical planets in our well-studied solar system. Why could the black hole in the center of the Milky Way be a completely different body? And what hypothetical astronomical object could defy everything we know about our universe? Planet Vulcan is not the only hypothetical object that disappeared in front of scientists. Swedish astronomers have estimated that in the last 70 years, more than 800 stars have gone missing. At that moment, the scientists felt like hackers whose victims turned on the VPN, because astronomers were collecting data about the behavior of stars just like web trackers and malware do. By the way, this video was created in collaboration with NordVPN. This service provides additional protection called threat protection. With this new feature, NordVPN not only hides your IP address and encrypts traffic, but also blocks web trackers and malicious websites. In other words, when you turn on the VPN, you disappear from the intruder's radar like a star from the scientists' telescopes. At the same time, NordVPN doesn't affect the quality and speed of your internet connection. On the contrary, it prevents your internet provider from bandwidth throttling, so you can watch your favorite TV shows on Netflix without freezing, no matter where you are, in another galaxy or the United States. If you, like the 800 disappeared stars, don't want to be followed by scientists or web trackers, hit the link in the description. There you'll find an exclusive offer from NordVPN, a 2-year plan, and free anti-malware protection as a gift. In the meantime, I'll tell you how and where planet Vulcan disappeared to. How has searching for planet Vulcan led scientists to a much more important discovery? In the mid-19th century, French astronomer Urbain Le Verrier independently calculated the orbits of the planets and created a new model of our solar system. Yeah, he was that cool. He realized that discrepancies in the orbit of Uranus were caused by the presence of another unknown planet. So he rubbed his hands together and determined its location as well. And only thanks to Le Verrier's work, in 1846, astronomers discovered Neptune. There was one snag, though. The orbit of Mercury was occasionally wobbling, and this ran counter to Newton's law of universal gravitation. But everything was clear to Le Verrier. It was another undiscovered planet to blame. He calculated that it had to be a tiny celestial body situated within the orbit of Mercury, with an orbital period of just around 20 days. The hypothetical planet could have been a superheated piece of rock, so it was agreed to name it Vulcan. That's how volcanomania began. Both professionals and space enthusiasts from all around the world tried to spot the new planet against the sun through their telescopes. Some of them even managed to find something like this, and Le Verrier updated his calculations. However, unlike Neptune, Vulcan never showed up. Skeptics argued that the hypothetical planet didn't exist at all, but Le Verrier believed it was real until his dying day. Newton's equations couldn't be wrong about Mercury. A total solar eclipse in 1878 ended this long-running dispute. Vulcan would have definitely appeared in the dark sky, but it didn't. After that, scientists were left alone with the inscrutable mystery of Mercury's orbit. But then, Einstein stepped in together with his theory of relativity. He stated that gravity is not a force like Newton had previously claimed, but the curvature of space-time caused by massive objects. And to prove it, Einstein used Mercury's eccentric way of orbiting the Sun. This means that the non-existent planet Vulcan led to a fantastic discovery, and history might be repeating itself right at this moment. Why are scholars looking for a new planet again, and what could it mean for science? There's nothing uncommon about the 8 known planets and their travel through space, but distant objects located beyond the orbit of Neptune, like Sedna, revolve around the Sun with such visible perturbation that it becomes apparent there's an as-yet undetected 9th planet that strongly influences them. Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin, researchers at the University of California, have estimated that this hypothetical planet must be 10 times heavier than Earth and lies somewhere really far away from the Sun. Can you see that small glowing ring? That's the orbit of Neptune, and it takes 10 years to reach it. Orbiting at such a distance, Planet 9 would need 10 or even 20,000 years to make one trip around the Sun. Those who support conspiracy theories would tell you that this very hellish planet will hit Earth and destroy humankind soon if we take the prophecy at face value. However, many astronomers would be glad if Planet 9 approached us because then they'd have a chance to see it at close range. But even if it does exist, it seems to be having a hard time trying to break through from our solar system's dark core. Wait a minute. How did it even get in there? One of the theories states that this is an embryo of a gas giant exiled to the wilderness by the gravitational perturbations of Jupiter and Saturn. According to another theory, the Sun could have picked this planet up from a passing star. In the end, we can't exclude the possibility that it's a tiny black hole, and that's why we can't see it. Basically, any discovery about Planet 9 will become a sensation and rewrite the history of our solar system. Although, even outside it, there are hypothetical objects able to rock the foundations of our knowledge of the world. What stars can change our theories about the universe itself? Large Hadron Collider experiments constantly produce antiparticles. They're like mirror images of regular particles carrying an opposite charge. It's believed that at the dawn of the universe, the energy ejected by the Big Bang simultaneously created matter and antimatter. In the end, the amount of ordinary matter was more significant than that of antimatter. Nonetheless, there may be quite enough of the latter to generate hypothetical antimatter stars. In 2018, a cosmic ray detector aboard the International Space Station recorded something like an anti-helium nucleus, and that's precisely what an antimatter star would be producing. However, it's tough to detect it up in space. It would shine brightly just like a regular star with some infrequent gamma-ray bursts. Based on this, astronomers have picked 14 candidates for antimatter star status, but the truth is, all of them could form even entire galaxies. Long story short, there must be at least something composed of antimatter. If not, it seems we've got it all wrong again. And if there are no such objects, this may mean that the Big Bang created 2 parallel universes at the same time. One of them is made of matter, and the other is made of antimatter. Who knows? Maybe we have identical lives there. Only their YouTube removed the like count instead of the dislikes. Another hypothetical star is even weirder. Imagine an absolutely transparent black hole. That's what a hypothetical boson star would look like. It's made of the smallest subatomic particles resembling photons. Unlike ordinary matter, they can be infinitely compressed and produce tiny but highly massive objects, and they're even more challenging to find than planet Vulcan. In 2019, scientists were baffled by a collision that took place in a distant galaxy and involved 2 black holes and an abnormally massive object. This strange event could be easily explained if it was 2 boson boson stars. If confirmed, the discovery would be much more remarkable than finding black holes. Boson stars may turn out to be that very dark matter whose interstellar amounts are thought to far exceed those of the ordinary ones. However, other objects, even though not really hypothetical, could also serve as explanations. What anomalies present in our galaxy suggest the existence of new hypothetical objects? I've told you a lot about the supermassive black hole that lies in the center of the Milky Way and weighs a bit more than 4 million of our suns. Astronomers had projected that we were supposed to see the black hole feasting on a passing interstellar cloud during the last years, but the movie was never released. The cloud just flew by, and that was it. This means that the object in the center of our galaxy could be something other than a black hole. Poor old Einstein. What a double plot twist. One of the theories states that the nucleus of the Milky Way is, in fact, a sphere composed of darkinos, or in other words, a hypothetical object consisting of dark matter particles that form a huge, crumbly clump instead of a black hole. Something like a hairball that your cat vomits up. A darkino ball isn't as greedy as a black hole, and so it could let that interstellar cloud pass and remain intact. But what if I tell you that there's a much less harmless animal grazing in space pretty close to us? That's the Hyades cluster, situated just 153 light-years away. Have you noticed that its lower tail is much smaller than the upper one? Astronomers noticed that too, and assumed that something big and invisible sucked all the stars out of there. Calculations have shown that a hypothetical object of that sort, consisting of, again, dark matter, has to be incredibly heavy and has to equal the mass of 10 million suns. So this star eater in our backyard is 2.5 times heavier than its sidekick from the central Milky Way. That's the only explanation scientists have got for the Hyades cluster's unusual shape so far. Perhaps our surroundings are full of these giant dark clumps, and one day one of them will seize our solar system as well. Will it be the end of the world, or will we finally gain superpowers? I don't know about you, but I won't be in the slightest bit surprised. There's one reassuring detail. All of those are hypothetical objects, from planet Vulcan to exotic stars with dark matter clumps, and they may just be figments of our imagination struggling to explain how the universe works. In their attempt to understand natural phenomena, ancient Greeks worshipped a whole pantheon of deities. In fact, we're doing just the same with the help of science. Properties of our hypothetical objects can be puzzling or even frightening. But let's not forget who the boss is here. Leave a comment and tell us which of our heroes today you'd like to keep until a new theory appears and turns the tide once again. Also, check out this video to learn more about incredible phenomena hidden on other planets and challenge your knowledge about the strangest things in space.